dreams just random images fired from an unconscious brain during sleep? Or something much more important, like life-saving inner guidance? How dreams can be healing and early warning tools for disease, financial crisis, or success. And love is still one of the behavioral science's greatest unanswered questions. Hello, I'm your host, author Kat O'Keefe Canavas. Welcome to Dreaming Healing, where dreams and cutting-edge scientific research meet on syndicated Dream Vision 7 radio network. Dreaming Healing is every Tuesday at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern, with live shows on the first and third evenings at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, when you can call in and ask Kat questions about your amazing dreams. Talk on air. Call toll-free, 833-220-1200. That's 833-220-1200. Come live your dreams out loud with Kat.
Welcome, everyone. I'm so glad you're here. I'm Kat, your host, Kathleen O'Keefe Canavas, but I hope you'll all call me Kat because my friends do, and the other long name is just too much of a mouthful. So what I'd like to do to open the show this evening is to start with a really short protection meditation. So get comfy, close your eyes, and what we're going to end up doing is we're going to take in 3 really deep breaths. And we're going to blow them out all the way across the room into the purple flame of Saint Germain. And when we take in those deep breaths, we're going to imagine any negativity, whether it's your own or maybe somebody said something to you that's kind of sticking with you. It's going to go into that breath of life. And as we blow it across the room into the purple flame of Saint Germain, it's going to get converted into positive, bright, beautiful golden light and returned to the universe. And then we're going to surround ourselves with a protective mirrored bubble. Okay? So get comfy, close your eyes, and let's start with the breath. Take in a deep breath. Imagine all the little negativity connecting to your breath. Blow it out across the room into that purple flame of Saint Germain. Again, deep breath in. Hold it. Blow it out. One more time. Deep breath in. Hold it as long as you can. Blow it out across the room. Now imagine that you've been given a talisman or a favorite flower or a stone that is a protective, a form of protection for you. Hold it in your hand. Now imagine surrounding yourself, just using your hand to create a big bubble around yourself. And this is going to be a mirrored bubble of protection. And only that which is of the highest and best may come into that bubble, either brought by your spirit guides or your guardian angels. Everything else is going to be reflected back from whence it came. We wish it so, and therefore it is. When you're ready, open your eyes. And feel free to keep your eyes closed and just listen to me. Dreams are, so much more than just random firings from our brain while we sleep. Our dreams are actually a microcosm of our daily lives. They can show us red flags, during our relationships. Who are you dating? What's going on in your office? The relationships you have with fellow workers. The relationships you have with your family. Our dreams can help us with those kinds of challenges. Or imagine if you had a dream with a big rainbow and a car was sitting at the end of that rainbow. We know what those universal signs and symbols are. Red flags flapping in a dream means, pay attention, danger. Whereas a rainbow is something wonderful. There's something special at the end of that rainbow. So what are your dreams telling you? You may have actually seen me on my video podcast. I was actually on one last hour, the Kat Canavas Show, live on New Earth TV. And if you didn't, you can always go to my website, Kathleen O'Keefe Canvas Author, and watch it at your convenience. I love to read and discuss dreams that are sent to me by email from my website. They're sent to me, and people have trouble interpreting them. And that's understandable because our dreams speak to us in signs and symbols, and those can be really confusing. There are universal signs and symbolism in our dreams. For instance, a universal symbolism would be the drawing of a sun that you might see on a cave wall by caveman. It's the round circle with the little rays coming off of it. As soon as you see that, you automatically know that's the sun. A crescent is a moon. And our dreams speak to us much the same way. They use those signs and symbols that we know, that are universal, but they can also speak to us with our individual dream language that's unique to us. Nobody else has it. For instance, if you have a dream about snakes, and you love snakes, like I love snakes. So if I have a dream about a snake, I'm going to imagine that this dream is going to be full of spiritual information because I'm going to view that snake, especially if it's a big cobra, as the Kundalini. And that's knowledge, extreme spiritual knowledge. Whereas someone else who is afraid of snakes might think of that dream as the warning we were talking about, that red flag. For instance, a friend of mine had a dream in which she saw a rattlesnake on a great big, long conference table. A few days later, she was called into a conference to make a big decision to go with a group. And as soon as she got in there and sat down and she looked at that table, she remembered the rattlesnake. Now, a rattlesnake is different from a cobra in that it's got a warning rattle that it shakes, which says, don't tread on me, or don't come here, don't go there. And so she immediately, upon remembering that dream, turned down the deal. And it's a good thing it did, because the deal tanked, and she would have put her company in jeopardy. So this is an email that was sent to me through my website, which I will be giving out later, and it was sent to me by Chris. When I was 11, I lost my mother. It was the most devastating thing that has ever happened in my life. She was much more to me than just Mom. I had health issues, attitude problems. I was always in trouble, a clown in school. Yep, I was a problem child. But Mom somehow understood, and although I knew she also loved all three of my siblings, she kept my motor running smoothly. She was my guardian angel. I literally came unglued when they brought her body and the two twins she was pregnant with to the house back then in 1947. The dreams I had afterward, both for me and my oldest sister, was that Mom was continually coming into our dreams and telling us that she was okay. And and that she wasn't dead, that she was still there by our side, and she would stay with us until we met again. No one could ever convince me that this was not my mother in my dreams, because it was just too real. These type of dreams are often sent to me. I call them visitations from the other side, and they are a gift from God. Because when a loved one passes, they miss us as much as we miss them. Of course, there's a huge homecoming on the other side. So they're reunited with our family members we may never have connected with, because we may not have known our great-great-grandparents and our great-great aunts and uncles and cousins from those generations, but our parents did. And so when they pass over, they reconnect with them, but they still love us. We're their babies, will always be their babies. My mother used to say to me, I don't care if you're 97 years old, you're still my baby. And that's often the way mothers think. So when they see children grieving after their death, they're often given permission to return through the sacred dream doors to reassure us that they're okay. My mother came to me many times in my dreams after she passed. I remember one that was extremely important, and it's actually in the book that I wrote with Dr. Larry Burke, Dreams That Come True, Dreams That Can Come True and Save Your Life. My mother showed up in my dream. It was an early morning dream, which are often the easiest to remember. So she showed up in my dream, and she reached down from above me in my dream. It was like I was looking up at her while I was lying in bed. And she held her hands out to me. And I took her hands in my hands, and she said, you are going to be just fine. And I remember thinking, well, that's strange. I'm not the one that died. She is. But okay, I'm glad to know I'm going to be just fine. Maybe she's here because she knows how much I miss her. Now, my mother was my best friend. So when she died, I really did miss her. And so I just took the dream with a grain of salt and thought, okay, maybe it's real, maybe it's not, who cares? It made me feel good for a few minutes. It was wonderful to see her, and I went on with my life. Well, let me tell you a little bit about that life. Shortly after that, I started having dreams in which I would have monks walk into the dream I was having. The dream I was having, which is known as an epic dream or a big dream, your regular dreams, would suddenly freeze. And what would happen is that frozen dream, like a freeze on your computer, the page when it freezes, would get a pop-up in the middle, just like on your computer. And that pop-up in my dream would become a sacred dream door. And through that dream door would walk these Franciscan monks. Yeah, I hadn't seen them before. And they came up to me and they said, you have breast cancer. And they said, come with me, or the first one said, come with me, we have something to tell you. And this Franciscan monk led me through that dream door, and it closed up behind me. Now, I was in the room between realms, I couldn't get back. What had been a dream door, dream window, was now a wall, a white wall where you couldn't see the floor, and you couldn't differentiate between the floor and the ceiling. Everything was just white. And these monks that were dressed in brown hooded robes with these belts that were made of rope, and they had on these leather sandals. They had their hoods up so I could never see their face. And there were about 3 of them in the room. And one of the monks walked up to me, took my hand, placed it on my breast, and said, you have breast cancer. Right there. Can you feel it? And in the dream I said, yeah, I can feel something. He said, you go back to your doctor and you get a second set of tests. And then he led me through the dream door again that miraculously just, showed up. When I walked through the dream door, I was back into my original dream that was still frozen. And as soon as that dream door disappeared, my dream that had been frozen started right back up again. And I woke up, and I thought, now that was really bizarre. What was that all about? But I woke up scared out of my mind. I thought, that just was not a normal dream. So I did go back to my doctor because I'd had a mammogram like 3 or 4 months earlier.